Mr. Witness, pakisabi po ang inyong pangalan, edad, at iba pang pagkakakilanlan.
Ako po ay si Attorney Melvin Matibag na kasalukuyang Director ng National Bureau of Investigation. Ang aming pong tanggapan ay may address na 9th floor Philinvest Cyber Zone Building, Diosdado, Macapagal, Pasay City.
Nabanggit mo na ikaw ay isang abogado. Gaano ka na katagal sa nasabing propesyon?
29 years po.
Saan ka nagtapos ng iyong abogasya?
Sa Ateneo Law School po.
Bago ang iyong abogasya, ano ang una mong inaral sa kolehiyo?
Ako po ay nagtapos ng Bachelor of Arts, major in Philosophy sa University of Santo Tomas.
Pagkatapos naman ng abogasya, Mr. Witness, ano ang iyong inaral kung mayroon man?
Nag-aral po ako ng Masters of Law, major in Corporate and Finance Law sa Wayne State University, Detroit, Michigan, USA po.
You are here as NBI Director. Bago ka itinalaga bilang NBI Director, ano ang iyong mga naging trabaho kung mayroon man?
Bago po ako itinalaga na NBA Director, kasalukuyan po ako naglilingkod bilang Dean o Dekano ng Lyceum Alabang College of Law.
Nabanggit mo na ikaw ay dating Dean ng Lyceum College of Law, Alabang. Bukod sa pagiging Dean, ano pa, kung mayroon man, ang iyong naging trabaho bago ang iyong pagkatalaga bilang NBI Director?
Ako po ay nanungkulan na rin sa iba't ibang kapasidad sa ilalim po ng iba't ibang administrasyon. Una-una po rito bilang Director ng Laguna Lake Development Authority sa administrasyon po ni dating Pangulong Gloria Macapagal Arroyo.
Nabanggit mo na ikaw ay naglingkod bilang Director ng Laguna Lake Development Authority panahon ng dating Pangulo, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Ano pa, Mr. Witness, kung mayroon man, ang iyong naging trabaho bago ka itinalaga bilang NBI Director?
Sa administrasyon po din ng dating Pangulong Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, ako rin po ay nanungkulan bilang General Manager ng Manila International Airport Authority. At sa administrasyon din po ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ako rin po ay nanungkulan sa iba't ibang kapasidad po.
Nabanggit mo na sa ilalim ng administrasyon ni Pangulong Duterte, nanungkulan ka rin sa gobyerno. Ano itong mga posisyon mo sa gobyerno na iyong nabanggit?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Your Honor, may I
Counsel may
respond?
answer. Counsel may respond,
The
rather.
prosecution, Your Honor, is establishing the competence of the witness, the qualification as an official of the government. We are establishing, Your Honor, that he is loyal to his duty regardless of the principal he is serving.
Wind up with your preliminaries, counsel. Witness may answer. Objection overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ako po ay nanungkulan bilang Presidente at CEO ng National Transmission Corporation mula po noong January 2017 hanggang Marso 2022 at pagkatapos doon ako po ay tinalaga bilang Cabinet Secretary po ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Kaugnay pa rin ng iyong pagiging NBI Director. Kailan ka itinalaga sa nasabing posisyon?
Ako po ay nai-appoint noong pong February 20 ng kasalukuyang taon po.
Mr. Witness, bilang NBI Director, ano ang iyong mga responsibilidad at kapangyarihan kung iyong nalalaman?
Objection, Your Honor. We already stipulated on this matters. No need for the Director to
Your Honor?
elaborate.
Did you stipulate, counsel, as well as with the powers, responsibilities of
We're willing to stipulate, Your Honor, as what
The
the law
Director?
provides.
Your Honor, regardless of the position of the defense to stipulate on the fact pertaining to the powers and responsibilities of the NBI Director, it is the position of the prosecution that since this is a constitutional process, mahalaga po na marinig ng ating mga iginagalang na senator judges, ganun din ng mga kababayang nanonood kung ano talaga ang responsibilidad at kapangyarihan ng isang NBI director.
Understood, Counsel, but it has been stipulated already by Counsel for the respondent. So kindly go straight to the matter at the soonest possible time. You're on a short leash with respect to the preliminaries on the qualifications of the witness. Kindly proceed, ma'am.
Mr. Witness, ano ang iyong mga kapangyarihan at responsibilidad kung iyong nalalaman?
Ang kasama po dito sa aking mga responsibilidad, ang una-una na po, we are the primary investigating authority ng ating pong bansa. Kung kaya po, ito po ay aming mandato na mag-imbestiga sa anumang usapin o mga maaring krimen na pumapasok sa amin. At kasama rin po dito ang pagbabalangkas ng mga polisiya at pagbubuo po ng mga units or division kung kinakailangan at ang pagmamanage din po administratively po ng aming opisina.
Sa mga kapangyarihan at responsibilidad na iyong binanggit, ano ang araw-araw mong ginagampanan kung mayroon man at kung iyong nalalaman?
Ang araw-araw pong pagbabantay at pakikipag-ugnayan sa aming mga ahente dahil po sa araw-araw namin pag-iimbestiga ng iba't iba pong usapin na pumapasok po sa aming ahensya.
Kaugnay pa rin ng mga binanggit mong kapangyarihan at responsibilidad, ano ang pinakamabigat mo na responsibilidad bilang NBI Director kung iyong nalalaman?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for an opinion.
Witness may answer. I think witness is competent enough to answer that question.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Ang akin pong, hindi lamang po bilang primary investigating agency, kundi ang amin pong primerong ginagawa ay ang pagbabantay para po sa ating mga taong bayan at bantayan din po ng ating konstitusyon ay may patupad at siguraduhin na hindi po nagkakaroon ng kaguluhan at ligalig para ito po ay puksain, habulin at amin pong kung kinakailangan ay kasuhan ang mga taong lumalabag po sa amin pong mandatong binabantayan.
Chair would like to remind the lead prosecutor to go into the meat of our direct examination already. I think we've heard enough of the preliminaries insofar as Director Matibag is concerned. Kindly
May we
proceed, ma'am.
Your Honor. Mr. Witness, naririto ka upang tumistigo sa impeachment trial na ito. Ano ang pagkakakilanlan ng respondent sa impeachment trial na ito kung iyong nalalaman?
Malinaw naman po na ang nasasakdal po sa impeachment trial na ito ay ang ating pong Vice Presidente na si Vice President Sara Duterte.
Bukod sa ang respondent ay ang Vice Presidente, ano pa kung mayroon man ang pagkakakilanlan ng respondent sa impeachment trial na ito?
Base po sa aking mandato bilang direktor nang ako po ay pumasok sa aming opisina, lahat po ng mga kasong nakabinbin at mga amin na naipasok sa Department of Justice ay aking pong niribisa at tiningnan upang akin po itong masubaybayan. At isa po sa mga kasong aking nakita rito, ang respondent po rito ay ang ating pong Vice Presidente kung saan po siya ay kinasuhan ng aming Cybercrime Division ng grave threat at inciting to sedition na kasalukuyan po ngayong nakabinbin sa Department of Justice.
Nabanggit mo na ang respondent ay may kasong grave threat at inciting to sedition sa DOJ. Mr. Witness, ano pa kung mayroon man ang pagkakakilanlan ng respondent sa impeachment trial na ito?
Ang ating pong Vice Presidente kasalukuyang ating pong subject sa ating continuing investigation dun po sa pagbabanta at plano na pagpatay po sa ating Pangulo, sa First Lady at sa dati pong Speaker of the House.
Mr. Witness, may binanggit ka na continuing investigation ng NBI. Ano ang iyong ginawa kung mayroon man kaugnay ng ongoing investigation ng NBI na iyong binanggit?
Tayo po ay nagtatag ng tinatawag ko ni Special Task Force po sa pamamagitan ng pag-create po ng isang administrative order kung saan bumalangkas po tayo ng mga miyembro ng aming pong opisina para sila po ang magtuloy ng investigasyon na ito at mag-monitor po na mga kailangang gawin.
Kaugnay pa rin ng binanggit mong Special Task Force. Ano ang kahalagahan nito sa investigasyon na ginagawa ng National Bureau of Investigation?
Napakahalaga po para sa amin sapagkat from our law enforcement perspective, ang ginawa pong banta ng Vice Presidente ay tinatrato na namin hindi banta kundi isang plano para po sa pagpatay sa ating Pangulo. And that is a threat to the President which we consider also na threat po sa ating national security.
Mr. Witness, anong katunayan mayroon ka? Kaugnay ng iyong binanggit na binuong Special Task Force upang mag-imbestiga sa lahat ng banta sa buhay ng Presidente, kasama na ang pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente.
Meron po akong inisyu na Administrative Order number 11 noong April 16 ng kasalukuyang taon po.
At kung ipapakita sa iyo ang kopya ng Administrative Order number 11, ito ba ay makikilala mo?
Opo.
Your Honor, may we request that AO number 11, previously marked as Exhibit P429, be flashed. We likewise request, Your Honor, that Attorney Kyle Kapunan, Assisting Counsel, be allowed to approach the witness for confirmation of the document.
Assisting counsel for the prosecution may approach, and likewise, assisting counsel for the respondent may approach to confirm and validate the document being shown to the witness. Likewise, the tech, through the clerk of court, is instructed to kindly flash in the screens the document being referred to by the lead prosecutor, the Honorable Luistro. Kindly zoom it in, please.
Mr.
Thank you.
Witness,
Your Honor, can we be
Attorney
given time
Villones
to comment?
recognized.
Your Honor, we manifest for the record, Your Honor, that the document is a photocopy.
So noted. Does the lead prosecutor confirm the observation of the counsel for respondents while we are awaiting, the respondent rather,
Your Honor,
while we are awaiting for their review of the document?
Your Honor, after the confirmation of the document, the prosecution will be requesting for the transfer of marking to a certified true copy, Your Honor.
At a later time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Noted. Counsel may proceed when she's ready.
Mr. Witness, ipinapakita sa iyo ngayon, may we request the assisting counsel to please show the document to the witness?
Attorney Kapunan, kindly.
Mr. Witness, ipinapakita sa iyo ngayon ang isang dokumento na may pamagat na Administrative Order number 11. Ano ang kaugnayan nito sa binanggit mo kanina na Administrative Order number 11 na kung saan nabuo ang Special Task Force?
Ito po yung aking dokumentong binabanggit.
Sa pangalawang pahina ng Administrative Order number 11, makikita ang isang lagda sa taas ng pangalang Attorney Melvin Matibag. Kaninong lagda ito, Mr. Witness?
Sa akin po.
Your Honor, may we manifest that AO number 11 has been previously marked as Exhibit P429, and we just want to place on record the request for the transfer of marking at a later time to the certified true copy, Your Honor.
Noted.
Kaugnay pa rin ng Administrative Order number 11, Mr. Witness. Ano ang komposisyon ng Special Task Force kung iyong nalalaman?
Ito po ay binubuo ng iba't ibang division na pinamumunuan po ng aming pong team leader na Deputy Director for Operations at dalawa po na assistant team leader sa pangunguna po ng Assistant Director namin for Investigation at Assistant Director for Intelligence po.
Nabanggit mo ang team leader at assistant team leader ng Special Task Force. Sino naman ang mga miyembro ng Special Task Force kung iyong nalalaman?
Your Honor, hindi po sino, kundi ito po ay mga grupo, specific units po. Isa na po rito ang National Capital Region Division namin, ang Cybercrime Division po namin, ang aming pong OCTD, Organized Crime, Transnational Crime Division, ang TID po at ang CFD.
Mr. Witness, nabanggit mo ang National Capital Region Division. Ano ang dahilan at isinama ang National Capital Region Division sa miyembro ng Special Task Force kung iyong nalalaman?
Sapagkat ang pag-iimbestiga po at ang continuing na surveillance ay tungkol sa banta sa kaligtasan po ng ating Pangulo at ang primerong opisina at tirahan po ng ating Pangulo ay nasa National Capital Region, kung kaya naman po ating pong isinama rito ang National Capital Region bilang miyembro po ng Special Task Force na ito.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo din kanina ang Cybercrime Division. Ano naman ang dahilan kung iyong nalalaman? Bakit ginawang miyembro ng Special Task Force ang Cybercrime Division?
Ang Cybercrime Division po ay kasama dito sa task force na ito sapagkat marami po ngayon na banta na pumapasok po sa ating Pangulo sa pamamagitan po paggamit ng social media platform at ang CCD po, sila po yung may karanasan at kaalaman po na sapat para bantayan po ang mga bantang papasok dito sa pang-araw-araw po.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo din ang Organized Transnational Crime Division. Ano naman ang dahilan at isinama ito sa Special Task Force kung mayroon man?
Hindi naman po lingid sa atin na ang ating Pangulo ay may mga pagkakataon na lumalabas ng ating bansa at nagbabiyahe na kung saan ay kaatim pa rin pong tungkulin na bantayan ang kanyang seguridad kahit siya ay nasa labas sa ating bansa. At ang ating pong Organized Transnational Crime Division, sila po yung merong ugnayan sa ating pong mga counterparts sa iba't ibang bansa upang ating pong maisiguro ang kaligtasan po ng ating pong Pangulo habang siya ay nasa labas ng ating bansa.
Mr. Witness, kasama sa iyong binanggit ang Technical Intelligence Division. Ano naman ang dahilan at kasama ito sa miyembro ng STF kung mayroon man?
Napaka-importante po ng role ng TID, ng Technical Intelligence Division, sapagkat ang mga banta po na katulad ng pumapasok po sa ating Pangulo ay nangangailangan po ng masusi at malawak na intelligence network. At ang TID po natin, sila po ang may karapatan dito at nagpuproseso ng mga ganito pong gawain.
Bilang huli, Mr. Witness, binanggit mo din ang Digital Forensic Laboratory Division. Ano naman ang dahilan at isinama ito sa miyembro ng Special Task Force?
Importante po ang kanilang role dito sa task force na ito sapagkat lahat po ng mga ebidensya na ating makakalap, lalong-lalo na nakailangan pong idaan sa forensics o pagsusuri na technical, sila po ang dibisyon na maaari pong gumawa ng pagsusuri na ito.
Maraming salamat sa iyong paglilinaw kaugnay ng komposisyon ng Special Task Force. Mr. Witness, anong mga pagkakataon kailangan ng NBI bumuo ng task force kung iyong nalalaman?
Ang pagbuo ng task force ay yung mga immediate po na pangangailangan nating tugunan. Isa po yan. Pangalawa po rito, kung isa ng malawakan ang isang bagay na kailangan nating tugunan at imbestigahan. At ang task force din po, kaya po ganyan kalawak kung makikita ninyo, ay kung ang nasasakupan po nito ay hindi lamang iisang lugar. At yung pong mga seryosong banta, na katulad ng banta sa ating Pangulo, ganitong task force po ang pakiramdam namin na kinakailangan.
Mr. Witness, balikan ko ang Special Task Force na iyong binuo. Kanina, ibinahagi mo ang komposisyon nito. Ano ang iyong partisipasyon bilang NBI Director kung meron man sa investigasyon ng Special Task Force?
Nakasad po dyan sa administrative order na yan na ang patuloy na pakikipag-ugnayan po sa Office ng Director patuloy na pag-uulat kung ano man po ang kanilang nakikita o namomonitor, at lalong-lalo na po kung may specific po na kailangang kaagad matugunan, ay dapat pong ipaalam sa opisina po ng Office ng Director.
Balikan natin ang Special Task Force na binuo sa ilalim ng AO number 11, Mr. Witness. Ano ang nagtulak sa'yo, kung mayroon man, upang buuin ang Special Task Force na ito?
Ang akin na po nabanggit, ang malinaw na banta at planong pagpatay po sa ating Pangulo, na para sa amin po sa law enforcement, ito ay nag-transcend na sa banta po sa ating national security. Sapagkat anuman pong banta sa ating Pangulo ay banta sa seguridad ng ating bansa. Sapagkat ito'y magdudulot ng kaguluhan, ng ligalig at destabilisasyon po sa ating pong gobyerno at sa ating pong bansa.
Nabanggit mo na ang banta sa buhay ng Pangulo ay banta na rin sa national security. Ano pa, Mr. Witness, kung mayroon man, ang nagtulak sa'yo upang buuin ang Special Task Force na ito?
May mga pangyayari po natin pong nasaksihan na nagpatunay na ang banta ay seryoso. Katunayan po, ang aming investigasyon ngayon ay tumawid na sa hindi banta, kundi isang plano talaga na patayin po ang ating Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Sapagkat doon po sa ating mga inobserbahan na tinatawag dating open source intel, manilaw po roon na ang ating Vice Presidente sinabi mismo na siya ay kumausap na ng papatay at pumayag yung papatay na yan sa ating Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
Mr. Witness, bukod sa iyong nabanggit, kung saan may kinausap ang Vice Presidente, napapatay sa Pangulo, ano pa, kung mayroon man, ang dahilan o nagtulak sa'yo upang buuin ang Special Task Force?
Kung makikita po ninyo doon sa whereas clauses ng Administrative Order 11, ang nag-isa pong nagpatibay rito ay yung aming napanood na live broadcast po ng isang rally na tinatawag na Rage Coalition. If I remember it correctly, it's April 12 na nagsasalita ang mayor ng Davao City na si Mayor Sebastian Basti Duterte na sinabi niya na isang ulo lang naman ang kailangan namin at yan ay ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos. Yan po ay aming isinama sa aming factor upang buuin po itong ating Administrative Order number 11.
May nabanggit ka na Rage Coalition Rally noong April 12, 2026. Ano itong insidenteng ito, Mr.
Objection,
Witness?
Your Honor, relevance. We ask for the relevance, Your Honor.
Part of the witness's narration, counsel, you're on a short leash again, kindly connected to this case.
Your Honor, this
Witness may answer.
Dito po sa rally na ito ay nakita natin doon pa lang pa sa pangalan na sinasabing rage, ito po ay may interpretasyon base sa aming law enforcement experience na pag sinabing rage, galit, puot. At ang mga personalidad po na dumalo rito ay makikita nating mga personalidad na kilalang tumutuligsa at naglalabas ng destabilisasyon po sa atin pong gobyerno ngayon. Makikita po natin ang presence ng iba't ibang personalities dyan na consistent na nagdudulot ng ligalig po sa atin pong bansa.
Mr. Witness, kung ipapakita sa iyo itong videong ito ba'y makikilala mo?
Opo.
Anong partikular na bahagi?
And the matter at hand. Yes, Director Matibag, you may proceed to open the US. Are you referring to your notes, rather?
Opo, yung pong aking investigation
You
notes
may
po.
refer to your notes,
Kung saan
Director Matibag.
po nakasulat ang timestamp nung video na akin po binabanggit.
Your Honor, may we be allowed also to peruse
Counsel
that-
for assisting counsel for the respondent may look at the document being reviewed by the witness. Likewise, should the prosecutor wish to do so, assisting counsel for the prosecutor may also stand up and accompany assisting counsel for the defense. You may proceed, Director Matibag, to answer.
Yan po ay nasa timestamp 2:34:35 to 2:34:43.
Your Honor, we are requesting that the video of Mayor Sebastian Duterte during the Rage Coalition on April 12, 2026 which has been previously marked as P430, particularly timestamp 23435 to 23443, be flashed, Your Honor.
The tech is directed to kindly play the timestamps mentioned. May I request assisting counsel from the defense to kindly witness the breaking? Is the USB sealed, counsel? Has
I
the
believe,
seal
Your
been
Honor.
broken? Witness is instructed to break the seal. While being witnessed by assisting counsel for both parties, before it is presented to the tech for it to be played.
Ayaw. Ayan.
While the witness is breaking the seal and bringing it, giving it rather to the counsel for the prosecutor and assisting counsel for the respondent, Chair would like to make a manifestation with respect to the proceedings. Earlier, the chair intimated to some senator judges, as far as practicable, to make their interjections and interventions after the party shall have examined the witness, both direct, cross, redirect, and recross, if any, unless the matter is of urgent, administrative, or procedural concern, in which case it may be brought up even before the examination of the witness by the parties. But as far as practicable, let us allow the parties to finish the examination of the witnesses by themselves, because this is more of a trial really than merely seeking clarificatory questions when the counsels can elicit that from the witness anyway. Yes, are we ready to play the video?
Tama na yan. That's okay. Isang ulo lang naman ang kailangan namin. Ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos!
Mr. Witness, napanood mo ang video. Ano ang kaugnayan ng video na ito sa insidente ng Rage Coalition na tinukoy mo kanina?
Yan po yung aking tinutukoy na video.
Ano ang partikular na sinabi ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte sa nasabing insidente kung iyong naaalala?
Sinabi po niya na isang ulo lang naman ang kailangan namin, ang ulo ni Bongbong Marcos.
Mr. Witness, ano ang kahalagahan ng insidenteng ito sa Rage Coalition sa imbestigasyon na ginagawa ng Special Task Force kaugnay ng banta ng Vice Presidente sa buhay ng Presidente?
Objection, Your Honor. Up to now, the prosecution has not established the relevance of these incidents to the matter at hand, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm
We're
in the
objecting on the
process.
basis of irrelevance, Your Honor.
I'm in the process of establishing the relevance already, Your Honor.
Counsel, kindly do so as best you can with the shortest possible time. I will allow it.
Yung pong video na yan ay amin pong naikumpara sa mga naging pahayag ng ating Vice Presidente na kung saan meron din po kaming bidyong binalikan na ang ating Vice Presidente ay nagre-repair din po sa pagtanggal ng ulo ng ating pong Presidente. Kung kaya't nakita namin po ang pagkakahambing ng statement po ng ating pong Mayor at ng Vice President Sara Duterte.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo ang isang insidente kung saan sinabi ng Vice Presidente gusto tanggalin ang ulo ng Presidente. Ano itong insidenteng ito kung iyong nalalaman?
Sa aking pong recollection sa yung pag-iimbestiga, ito po yung kanyang press conference noong October 18 ng 2024 kung saan sinabi niya, gusto kong tanggalin ang ulo niya ba? At sinabi rin po niya, imagine cutting his head. So yan po ang binabanggit ko na video.
Kaugnay ng sinabi niya na gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba? Anong partikular na bahagi ng binanggit mo na video ang tumutukoy sa sinabing ito ng Vice Presidente?
Mr. Presiding Officer, respectfully, with your permission, for the timestamp, I want to refer to my
Witness
notes.
is allowed to refer to his notes
Salamat
with the
po.
assistance and within the view of the counsel, assisting counsel for the respondent and the prosecution if they so desire.
Your Honor, can we ask permission to scan the whole notebook, Your Honor? Or at least the salient portions of the notebook, Your Honor.
To look at it, to scan it, to see that if baka may mga nakasulat na iba dyan na wala nang kinalam. Just to confirm that it is indeed his notes with respect. What is the book you are referring to or notebook you're referring to, Attorney Matibag?
Mr. Presiding Officer, actually, diary ko po ito at saka notes eh. Combination. So kung makikita naman po, mula pa noon, iba't iba pong nakasulat dito. May mga personal po, may mga usapin. Ito lamang pong notes ko na to, nakatuon dun sa date kung saan po nagkaroon na ng investigation po yung Administrative Order number 11.
Then just the salient portions, Your Honor.
Your Honor, just for the record, we would like to invoke the right of the witness to refer to his notes because that note pertains to investigation notes which were prepared, done, written at the time of the investigation, Your Honor. That is to refresh his memory, Your Honor.
No, the presiding officer already allowed it. Counsel for the respondent, your assisting counsel is there. Without necessarily scanning the whole notebook which might contain other confidential or perhaps personal information, he may observe what the witness is referring to and you may make your observations known to the record should he observe something out of the ordinary. Witness may answer.
Ang timestamp po dun sa sinabi kong gusto kong tanggalin yung ulo niya ba is from 1:35:57 to 1:36:10 po.
Your Honor, may we request that the video of the Vice President on October 18, 2024, during her press conference, previously marked as P411, particularly timestamp 1:35:57 to 1:36:10, be played, Your Honor.
Has the USB seal been broken by the witness? If not, witness is instructed to kindly break the seal of the marked evidence in full view of the assisting counsels for the parties. Thereafter, for the USB to be brought to the tech booth, and the clerk of court is instructed to have it played with respect to the identified timestamps of Director Matibag.
Gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba?
Mr.
I
Witness,
realize.
napanood
toxic na
mo
yun.
ang video.
The video is still playing, I believe, lead prosecutor. Unless you want it cut already.
Okay. Yung timestamp.
It may be cut, Your Honor.
I'm sorry? Do you
It
want...
may be cut, Your Honor. The
Okay.
timestamp is only 1:35:57 to 1:36:10. Mr. Witness, napanood mo ang video? Ano ang kaugnayan nito sa insidenteng tinukoy mo kanina kung saan sinabi ng Vice Presidente, gusto kong tanggalin ang ulo niya ba?
That is the same video that I was referring to.
Kanina, Mr. Witness, binanggit mo din na may sinabi ang Vice Presidente, I imagine myself cutting his head. Anong partikular na bahagi naman ng video na iyong tinukoy ang tumutukoy sa sinabing ito ng Vice Presidente kung iyong nalalaman?
Again, Mr. Presiding Officer, may be allowed to look for the
Witness may do
accuracy.
so.
Thank you po. Timestamp 136.52 po to timestamp 136.58.
Your Honor, may we request that the same video be played, particularly timestamp 136.52 to 136.58?
Pertaining to the same exhibit, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Same exhibit P411.
Tech is instructed through the clerk of court to kindly play the video.
Imagine myself cutting his head.
Mr. Witness, napanood mo ang video. Ano ang kaugnayan nito sa insidenteng tinukoy mo kanina kung saan sinabi ng Vice Presidente, I imagine myself cutting his head?
Yan din po yung video ang aking tinutukoy.
Mr. Witness, kanina ay binanggit mo ang insidente ng Mayor Sebastian Duterte. Kaninong ulo ang kailangan nila kung iyong nalalaman?
Objection asked and answered, Your Honor.
Asked and answered. Move on, counsel.
Binanggit mo din ang video ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Mr. Witness, kaninong ulo ang gustong tanggalin?
Objection asked and answered, Your Honor.
Move on, counsel. Asked and answered. The court understands and knows who said the vice president was referring to in that video.
Thank you, Your Honor. We will proceed. Ano ang obserbasyon mo dito sa video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte at sa video ni Vice President Sara Duterte kaugnay ng investigasyon ng Special Task Force kung mayroon man?
Objection vague, Your Honor. Ano ang obserbasyon mo?
Kindly be more specific, counsel. Although
Miss-
the witness is competent, kindly be more specific so that the witness can more intelligently answer the question.
Mr. Witness, anong koneksyon kung mayroon man ang video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte at ang video ni Vice President Sara Duterte sa kasalukuyang investigasyon ng Special Task Force?
Objection,
kung
Your Honor.
mayroon man
Objection,
at
Your
kung
Honor.
iyong nalalaman.
Objection, Your Honor. Still vague and asked and answered.
Witness may answer if he knows so that we can move on. Director Matibag, kindly respond.
Salamat po. Kapansin-pansin po na makikita natin na nanggagaling sa isang pamilya ang pagbabanta sa ating Pangulo at parehas na nag-refer sa ulo ng Pangulo. Kung kaya naman, iniisip po ba namin kung meron bang kasabwat o may sabwatan sa pangyayaring ito, sapagkat gaya po ng aking binanggit na noong November 23, binanggit po ng ating Vice Presidente na meron na siyang kinausap para pumatay sa ating Pangulo at pumayag siya. Kaya ito po ang amin pong tinututukan sa task force na amin pong itinatag.
Objection, Your Honor. We would have to object as to the answer being non-responsive, and we would like to move, Your Honor, that it be expunged from the records.
Your Honor, the witness has answered already, and that should form part of the transcript of our trial today.
Then we move to strike it off, Your Honor.
The objection is overruled and the motion to strike is denied. Let it remain in the records for the appreciation of the senator judges as to the weight they will give that particular part of the witness's testimony.
We will submit, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, binanggit
Counsel, may
mo
proceed.
kanina na may kinausap ng tao ang Vice Presidente. Ano ang kahalagahan nito sa inyong investigasyon sa Special Task Force, kung mayroon man?
Sapagkat ito po, yung amin mismong tinitingnan, sapagkat ang tingin nga po namin dito, that the threat is serious, active, and continuing doon po sa banta sa ating Presidente. At dahil ito ay seryoso, aktibo, at patuloy na umiiral, ay nagiging banta na rin po sa ating pambansang seguridad. Sapagkat anuman pong banta sa seguridad ng ating Pangulo ay banta po sa ating national security.
Mr. Witness, ano ang inyong obserbasyon, kung mayroon man, doon sa sinabi ng Vice Presidente na mayroon na siyang kinausap na tao?
Objection vague, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the witness is very much competent. Please allow him to answer the question.
Witness, objection overruled. Witness may answer. Kindly move on, counsel. I think I know where you're getting at, but kindly move on toward your point. Witness may answer.
Ang obserbasyon po namin dito ay hindi na ito isang banta, kundi isang plano. Sapagkat ang tingin po namin dito ay inianunsyo ng ating Vice Presidente ang kanyang planong pagpatay sa Pangulo ng Pilipinas at mga nabanggit pa ang kanyang gustong ipapatay doon po sa kanyang pagbabanggit sa kanyang press conference.
Kanina, Mr. Witness, binanggit mo ang investigasyon ng NBI noong November 2024. Ano ang pagkakaiba, kung mayroon man, ng investigasyon ng NBI noong November 2024 sa kasalukuyang investigasyon ng Special Task Force na nag-umpisa noong Abril 2026?
Malaki po ang pagkakaiba. Yung investigasyon po na natapos, na ginawa noong November 24, na nag-iimbestiga tuon po sa grave threat at sa inciting to sedition, ito po ay ordinaryong krimen na iniimbestigahan na sa ngayon po ay nakabinbinma sa Department of Justice para sa kanilang resolusyon. Pero ang amin pong iniimbestigahan ay sinuulit ko nga po, the serious, active, and continuing threat to the life of the President which already transcend to a national security issue. Sapagkat malinaw po na hindi na ito banta, kundi isang plano na patayin ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
With the permission of the Council of the Parties, Chair would like to clarify for the record and for the Senator judges that the investigation conducted by the NBI in November of 2025, the witness was not yet the director at that time, but he can testify as to the fact that the agency he now heads conducted the investigation, but not as to the truth of the investigations conducted at that time, but as to the fact that investigations were conducted only. You may proceed, Counsel.
Mr. Witness, ano ang dahilan bakit kasama ang video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte sa inyong sinasabi ngayon na ang bantang ito ay banta na sa national security kung mayroon man?
Objection asked and answered, Your Honor.
Asked and answered, Counsel. Move on.
Your Honor, as a matter of fact, we haven't asked that question and the witness is supposed to explain the reasons why the video was actually considered in their observation that this is a threat to national security.
I believe the witness already answered that any threat to the President is a threat to national security, to the national security of the country. And earlier, the Counsel already asked the relationship of the video to that statement of the witness, which the Chair allowed. We're already there, Counsel. Please move on.
Bilang karagdagan, Mr. Witness, sa iyong binanggit na issue ng national security, kaugnay ng video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte, ano pa ang dahilan, kung mayroon man, kung bakit isinama siya sa pagsusuri ng Special Task Force?
Sapagkat dito na nga po na makikita na ang naging pagbabanta ng ating Vice President ay nagkaroon po ng tinatawag natin na epekto. It is a kinetic force na kung saan yung mga nakarinig ng kanyang pagbabanta ay gumagaya na rin at nagbabanta. Lalong-lalo na sila ay nabibilang sa isang pamilya. That is the very purpose of the task force, to monitor all those threats na lumalabas po ngayon. At sa araw-araw nga, meron po tayong nakikitang threat sa social media, sa mga pahayag po during the mga rallies, ay tuloy-tuloy po na banta sa ating pong Pangulo na umaabot na po na banta sa ating national security.
Binanggit mo ang kinetic force. Anong ibig sabihin nito, Mr. Witness?
Na yung kanila pong aksyon ay nagkakaroon po ng epekto para kumilos sa mga nakakarinig, ang kanilang mga supporter, upang maghasik po ng ligalig at kaguluhan po sa ating pong bansa at hindi na nire-respeto ang ating pong konstitusyon at wala na rin pong pagtingin sa ating democratic process.
Ano pa ang dahilan, kung meron man, bakit isinama sa pagsusuri ang video ni Mayor Sebastian Duterte kaugnay ng Rage Coalition rally?
Yung
Objection
presensya,
asked and answered, Your Honor.
Witness may answer.
yung proseso po namin na yan, doon po namin nakita na sinasabi ko nga, yung mga participants dito, yung po mga kilala na mga tao na nagdudulot ng ligalig at pagtutol sa demokrasya po natin. At nandiroon din po yung broadcast na yan, napakarami pong naabot na tao, nasa 600,000 plus po yung live broadcast niyan. Doon na po papasok yung tinatawag ko nga kanina na sinabi kong kinetic force na maaaring magkaroon po ng reaksyon ng mga taong nanonood na ito na hindi po maganda at makagugulo po sa pag-promote po natin ng law and order na primero po nagawain po dapat ng National Bureau of Investigation.
Binanggit mo na may mga kilalang personalidad na nakibahagi sa Rage Coalition Rally. Sino-sino itong mga ito?
Objection, Your Honor, irrelevant.
Witness may answer.
Makita po natin doon, may mga senador din po na nandoon. Nandoon din po si Mike Defensor at nandoon po ang mga haligi po ng PDP Laban na akin po mga kakilala. Nandoon din po ang mga iba't ibang leader sa iba't ibang rehiyon na akin na pong nakasama noon nung ako ay miyembro pa ng PDP Laban.
Mr. Witness, ano ang ibig sabihin ng rage kung iyong nalalaman?
Objection, Your Honor, irrelevant.
I think counsel has already made the connection between the rage, the statements of Mayor Baste, and the statements of the respondent. Witness may answer.
Sa Tagalog po niyan ay galit o puot. Yun po.
Wala pong acronym yon, Director Matiba?
Hindi po kasi tumutugma doon sa acronym nila dahil yung acronym nila Reform Alliance for Good Governance. So hindi po rage eh. So medyo malayo po.
May I proceed, Your
Counsel
Honor?
may proceed.
Nabanggit mo din, Mr. Witness, na maraming nanood ng videong ito. Ilan ang nanood ng videong ito kung iyong nalalaman?
Sa live broadcast po, lumabas po na nasa 600,000.
At ano ang kahalagahan na 691,000 ang nanood sa live broadcast ng videong ito kung mayroon man?
Again, ganoon na po kalawak yung nakikita natin na resulta ng pag-asik po, ng ligalig po at pagbabanta po sa kayusan, pati na rin po sa seguridad ng ating Pangulo.
Mr. Witness, kanina binanggit mo ang pagkakaiba ng naunang investigasyon ng NBI sa kasalukuyang investigasyon ng Special Task Force ng NBI. Ngayon, ano naman ang ginawa ng NBI sa pagitan ng unang investigasyon kung saan na-file ang kasong grave threat at inciting to sedition sa DOJ, February 2025, sa kasalukuyang investigasyon ng Special Task Force na inumpisahan nung buuin ang STF April 2026, kung mayroon man?
Ang sa pagkaalam ko
Counsel,
po,
you mean April 16, 2026. That's the, you're referring to AO11.
Yes, Your Honor.
Witness may answer.
doon po base po sa tanong ng mula February 25, 2025, ako po ay hindi pa NBI noon, subalit nung ako po ay nag-assume nung February 20, kasama po sa ating pinag-aralan yan at alam naman po natin na ang mandato ng NBI ay ang patuloy na bantayan ng seguridad ng ating mga opisyalis at siguraduhin na may law and order. So ako po'y na-appraise naman na tuloy-tuloy ang mga monitoring at consultation po at surveillance na ginagawa ng iba't ibang unit noon. Ngayon, nung ako naman po ay pumasok bilang NBI Director at atin pong pinag-aralan yung mga kaso, noong April 16 nga po, itinatag na po natin ang task force na ito upang po matutukan ang mga issue na akin na nga pong nabanggit.
Mr. Witness, maraming salamat sa iyong paglilinaw, kaugnay ng nauna at ng kasalukuyang investigasyon ng NBI. Kaugnay pa rin ng Special Task Bastian Duterte na tinukoy mo.
Ito po ay aming naitoka kay Agent Edgar Apolonio po ng Cybercrime Division po.
Ano naman ang iyong patunay na ang videong ito ay na-preserve at na-authenticate ni Agent Edgar Apolonio kung mayroon man?
Ako po ay nakakuha ng kopya ng affidavit of authentication na ipinasa po sa aking tanggapan at akin po itong nahawakan po.
Your Honor, we are requesting that affidavit of authentication of Edgar Apolonio previously marked as Exhibit P431, be flashed. Likewise, Your Honor, we're requesting that we allow assisting counsel to present the document to the witness for confirmation. Mr. Witness, we are presenting to you a document entitled Affidavit of Authentication. Ano ang kaugnayan nito sa Affidavit of Authentication ni Agent Edgar Apolonio na tinukoy mo kanina?
Ito po ang affidavit of authentication na aking pong binabanggit.
We manifest, Your Honor, that the same has been previously marked as Exhibit P431. Sa pahina 2, makikita isang lagda sa ibabaw ng pangalang Agent Edgar Apolonio. Mr. Witness, kaninong lagda iyan kung iyong nalalaman?
Kay Agent Edgar Apolonio po.
Mr. Witness, paano mo nalaman na ang lagdang iyan ay lagda ni Agent Edgar Apolonio?
Noong po ito'y sinumite sa aking opisina, siya po ay aking ipinatawag at tinanong ko kung siya ang gumawa at kung lagda niya po ito. Bukod po doon ay marami na po akong naiutos na ipa-authenticate sa kanya at iba pang dokumento na siya po ang lumalagda, kung saan nagkaroon na po ako ng familiarity doon sa kanya pong mga lagda.
Maraming salamat sa iyong paglilinaw. Ngayon ay puntahan natin ang investigasyon ng Special Task Force sa banta ng Vice Presidente sa buhay ng Presidente. Ano ang mga ginamit niyong batayan? Kung mayroon man sa inyong pag-iimbestiga sa Special Task Force sa banta ng Vice Presidente sa buhay ng Presidente.
Consistent po sa ginagamit po ng Protective Intelligence Methodology ng Secret Service ng Amerika. Then po sa tinatawag natin na if there is a threat to unknown personality, meron po silang mga pamantayan at doon din po namin ibinasa itong pamantayan na ito. 5 po ito na pamantayan namin pong ginamit.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo na meron kayong ginamit na 5 pamantayan. Ano-ano itong mga 5 pamantayan na binanggit mo?
Una na po rito yung pattern of violence po.
Bukod sa pattern of violence, ano pa kung mayroon pa?
Yung pong gravity at seriousness po ng isa pong pangyayari.
Anong sunod dito kung meron pa?
Yung pong identity and identifying characteristic po ng involved po doon sa pangyayari.
Bukod sa identity, ano pa, Mr. Witness, kung mayroon man?
Ang isa po rito ay yung kakayanan po at kapasidad po ng nabanggit po na subject po.
At bukod sa 4 na iyong nabanggit, ano pa ang inyong ginamit na batayan kaugnay ng investigasyon na ito?
Yung pong tinatawag na motive o motibo at intent po ng personality po.
Mr. Witness, balikan natin ang pattern of violence na una mong binanggit kanina. Ano ang inyong sinuri, kung mayroon man, kaugnay ng pattern of violence ng Vice Presidente?
Sa tulong po ng amin pong Special Task Force ay amin pong binalikan ang mga pangyayari na yan naman po ay lumabas na tinatawag namin sa media ng mga open source intel namin. At doon po nakita namin yung isang event nung mayor pa po ang ating Vice President Sara Duterte na meron pong isang sheriff na gustong gawin ang kanyang tungkulin na atas po ng legal na atas ng ng korte na magpatupad po ng demolition order. Subalit hindi po ito nagustuhan ng noon ay mayor at kay vice presidente, kung saan ay tinawag po niya yung sheriff at pinagsusuntok po sa mukha itong sheriff na ito.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo ang isang insidente ng sheriff na pinagsusuntok sa muka. May ipapakita ako sa iyong video.
Noong July 2011, habang nakaupong mayor ng Davao City, sinapak ni Vice President Sara Duterte ang isang court sheriff.
Ito ba ang insidenteng tinutukoy mo?
Tama po, yan po.
Bukod sa insidente ng sheriff na sinuntok ng Vice Presidente, ano pa kung mayroon man ang inyong sinuri kaugnay ng pattern of violence ng Vice Presidente?
As part of our investigation, kami po ay nakakakuha ng mga dokumento related po dito sa aming inimbestigan kung saan we got hold of a affidavit of ito pong dating police ni si Arturo Las Canas na self-confessed member ng DDS na kung saan doon po sa kanyang affidavit na yan ay atin pong nakita at inilalarawan po at sinasabi nitong ni Arturo Las Canas na ang Vice Presidente mismo ay kasama doon sa Oplan Tokhang, isa sa mga arkitekto ng Oplan Tokhang. At dito rin po niya sinabi na instead na barilin at patayin para hindi nalalaman ng media, ay kidnapin na lamang yung mga subject po, mga shabu users o kaya yung pong ibang gumagawa ng krimen o nagtitinda ng droga at ibaw na lang po sa isang quarry. Na kung saan natagpuan po literal nitong Laod Quarry na mayroon po mga biktima ng extrajudicial killings.
Mr. Witness, nabanggit mo ang affidavit ni Arturo Las Cañas. Nasaan ang affidavit na tinutukoy mo?
Objection, Your Honor. May we know the relevance of all these questions?
Your Honor, we are establishing the pattern of violence. And this is very much relevant.
Witness may answer.
Sa pagkakalam ko po, ang affidavit na ito ay nakasumito po sa International Criminal Court na sasalukuyan po dumidinig ng kaso ng extrajudicial killings po.
Kaugnay pa rin ng affidavit of Arturo Las Cañas. Nasaan ang kopya nito kung mayroon ka man?
Meron po
Objection, Your Honor. The witness is not competent to provide an answer on an affidavit that he did not execute.
Your Honor, may I respond?
Lead counsel may respond.
Your Honor, this affidavit of Arturo Las Cañas can be considered as a declaration against interest. He's saying in the affidavit na siya ay hitman, na siya ay bahagi ng Davao Death Squad. And under the rules, Your Honor, this may be considered also even with respect to third party. And in this particular case, Your Honor, the Vice President, the respondent, is the third party.
Just a rejoinder, Your Honor.
Counsel for the respondent.
Then we would have to object to that, Your Honor, because it will be Mr. Las Cañas, if at all, who has the personal knowledge. We're already going into the contents of such affidavit, and the witness is incompetent to testify on that.
Shall we make a ruling? It is of no moment that it is a declaration against interest. Again, it is not an exception to the hearsay rule. It's certainly not a declaration against the interest of the witness. However, the court will allow it as part of the testimony and narration only of the witness, not as to the truth of the allegations of fact contained in the affidavit of Las Cañas, just as to the fact that the affidavit went through the office of the NBI director, that he knows of the affidavit, but certainly for the information likewise of the senator judges, not as to the truth of the allegations stated in the Las Cañas affidavit. Witness may answer.
Your Honor, we will submit, but we register continuing objection.
The continuing objection of the counsel for respondent is duly noted and entered into the records.
Mr. Witness, kaugnay pa rin ng affidavit ni Arturo Las Cañas. Nasaan ang kopya ng affidavit na ito?
Meron po akong CP.
Counsel, witness already answered. He said it is in the ICC, I believe.
Your Honor, I am pertaining to his actual copy.
You may proceed, counsel. Witness may answer.
Nandito po sa akin, dala-dala ko po yung kopya ng affidavit.
Your Honor, may we allow the witness to present his own copy?
Witness is allowed to produce a copy she is mentioning, is referring to rather in his testimony. For the record, assisting counsel for the respondent as well as assisting counsel for the prosecutors are viewing the document produced by the witness.
Your Honor, just a comment.
Counsel for the respondents recognized.
Your Honor, it appears that this document has not been marked during the pre-trial conference.
Your
so
Honor, may I respond to that?
not yet done with my manifestation.
Let the counsel for respondent finish, counsel.
So in other words, may we request, Your Honor, that we be given a copy of such document as well for our perusal.
The prosecutor is so instructed to kindly furnish a copy if indeed this document has not yet been marked.
Your Honor, may I respond to that?
Counsel may respond.
The affidavit of Arturo Las Cañas has been previously marked as P-2-10-1-W, Your Honor, for the prosecution.
Then I stand corrected, Your Honor, but can we still request for a copy?
Nevertheless, kindly give the counsel for respondents a copy.
We submit, Your Honor.
Counsels rather for respondent a copy. Thank you, counsel.
But we make the manifestation, Your Honor, that such
Counsel may proceed to make a manifestation.
that such exhibit was indeed marked, but it was marked under Article 2, Your Honor, not Article 4.
We confirm, Your Honor. Nevertheless, we maintain that this document has been marked during the pre-trial conference, Your Honor.
Duly noted.
Mr. Witness,
It's the same. This is part of the mark. Oh, this is part of just an additional comment, Your Honor.
Counsel may proceed.
It appears that the two documents are not the same in that the marked documents contains a page and attached thereto is an USB. However, the copy of Director Matibag does not contain that page, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, counsel.
It appears, Your Honor, that the two documents are not the same in
What
that
two documents are you referring to?
the marked exhibit and the set of documents from Director Matibag. With all due respect, Your Honor, the copy that was marked contains a page with annexes, including a USB, and such page does not appear in the copy provided by Director Matibag.
So the copy of Director Matibag does not contain a page with an attached USB.
That's correct, Your Honor. It's incomplete.
Does counsel for the prosecutors, assisting counsel for the prosecutors, or lead counsel confirm that? For the record?
we confirm, Your Honor. Nevertheless, the representation of the witness is that the copy is his own copy and does not pertain to the copy of the prosecution. And we will be willing, Your Honor, to use the pre-marked copy for the purpose of confirmation of the witness, Your Honor.
If you have it with you, counsel, why not just use that copy?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that
will
we
do.
can go directly to it, unless there are any reservations from the counsel.
We are
for
okay, Your Honor. Your Honor, if I may be recognized. We are
You
okay
may.
with confronting the witness with his own copy, Your Honor. But again, we manifest that it was not the document that was marked and it does not contain the USB. Moreover, just an additional manifestation, the marked copy or marked set contains a stamp certified true copy, but it was not signed by anyone and there was no date provided.
Duly noted. Again, this without prejudice to the counsel for the prosecutor, furnishing counsel for respondent with a copy of the exact document produced by Director Matibag for further comparison and/or observation either during cross or future proceedings later on.
We submit, Your Honor.
Your Honor, just a correction. There was a stamp, Your Honor, and a signature, but there was no name. For the record, Your Honor.
Duly noted for the record.
With the permission of the court, we'll be using the pre-marked document, Your Honor, for the purpose of confirmation.
Likewise, for the information of the counsel for respondent, would that be okay?
Then we take exception to that, Your Honor, because it was not the one that was identified by the witness in open court. What he identified was his own copy, and that copy does not contain any USB. So he does not have. He will be incompetent to testify on a pre-marked exhibit that he did not submit or participate in.
The exhibits can be later on compared to with a certified true copy at a later date, as has been previously done by the parties. In the meantime, Chair will allow the witness to use his copy without prejudice to any differences that may be shown either through cross or through the comparison after a copy shall have been furnished to the counsel for respondents.
Continuing objection, Your Honor.
So ordered.
May
Continuing
we
objection is
confirm,
noted.
Your Honor, which copy we will be using for
The
confirmation?
counsel produced by Director Matibag will be the one that will be used.
Mr.
the
Witness, kanina, binanggit mo ang Tokhang, Laod Quarry, at ang Vice Presidente. Saang partikular na bahagi ng affidavit ni Arturo Las Cañas na ipinapakita mo ngayon tumutukoy dito sa mga binanggit mo?
Objection, Your Honor. Then that already goes into the contents of such affidavit. And since the witness is not the one who executed the affidavit, then he has no personal knowledge and incompetent to answer that question.
Your Honor, may I respond?
Moreover, the court already ruled, Your Honor.
Counsel for the prosecutor may respond before the court rules on the objection.
Your Honor, the witness is merely pointing to that pertinent portion of the affidavit. And later, Your Honor, for the record, we will just be asking him to read into the records.
Just short rejoinder, Your Honor.
Counsel for the respondent may give his rejoinder.
Objection, the document will speak for itself.
Chair sustains the objection, counsel for the prosecutors. The document will speak for itself, and the document will be furnished to the senator judges anyway, given that it's part of the annexes. Let the witness merely testifies to the fact that he included the affidavit of Mr. Las Cañas as part of his investigation and part of his narration of his investigation to prove, quote, pattern of violence. But again, not as to the truth and the contents of the affidavit itself. Move on, counsel.
With that, Your Honor, we will be requesting for the submarking of the pertinent portion of the affidavit of Arturo Las Cañas, the witness already referred to.
Again, only as to tenor, but not as to the truth, counsel. For the record and for the information of the senator judges, you may do so.
For purposes, Your Honor, of reference, which particular portion to be submarked, Your Honor? May we ask the witness to make reference or point which part of that affidavit he is referring to?
In his investigation, counsel.
Same objection, Your Honor.
As part of his investigation, witness may answer.
As part of our investigation, ang importante po para sa amin dito, in establishing the pattern of violence is yung paragraph 270 and paragraph 270B and paragraph 270D. 270.
For purposes of submarking, Your Honor, may we ask which particular part of paragraph 270 the witness first referred to?
Your Honor, manifestation.
Counsel for respondent may proceed.
All right. Your Honor, this pertains to an affidavit of Arturo Las Cañas. And on page 186, Your Honor, of such affidavit, it appears that even the signature is not a wet signature. It's a printed copy. And there's a subscription and sworn to portion thereof. But it's not notarized at all. So this is a mere scrap of paper, Your Honor.
Counsel,
Your Honor, the document is being presented only to seek confirmation from the witness that he is referring to this particular document as part of the investigation of Special Task Force. We are not presenting it to prove the truthfulness of the contents of the affidavit. The question only, Your Honor, is whether or not this is the document that was part of the consideration of the Special Task Force in investigating on the threat by
Just a-
the President to the life of the
Just a
President.
short
Your Honor.
rejoinder, Your Honor.
counsel may give a rejoinder
Then
or
we-
additional manifestation.
Then we will not allow this witness to build on the basis of a mere scrap of paper, Your Honor.
Counsel, it was the counsel for respondent who chose to use this copy instead of the one previously marked. That I presume is either certified true or contains a more complete signature.
Then I would have to clarify, Your Honor, that it is our position. Well, it's first of all, we are not in the position to choose for this witness. But in the event that they use this document, we manifest, Your Honor, upon perusal that such document is unsigned and unnotarized, Your Honor. This is an affidavit. So in other words, without the proper notarization and without the proper signature, then it is a mere scrap of paper. We cannot allow this witness to build his testimony based on this document.
Your Honor,
In fact, Your Honor, we request, Your Honor, that this court peruse also page 186 of such document.
Before the court the presiding officer makes a ruling,
Your Honor.
the pre-marked document, is it notarized?
Your Honor, may I raise a question to the witness so that he will answer and enlighten us on why the document is not notarized?
You may, counsel. So you're admitting that it's not even
Yes,
your
Your
pre-marked
Honor.
copy is not notarized, whether we use that copy or this one.
We admit to that, Your Honor.
The witness will please explain why he is using in his investigation a document and or affidavit that is not subscribed to or under oath. So it is not even an affidavit, but merely a statement.
Alam niyo po, Your Honor, sa law enforcement po, meron po tayong mga tinatawag na open source intel. At ito po ay pinadala sa atin at atin pong susundan. At kaya nga po, ang aming pong investigasyon ay isang continuing investigation, open, continuing and active investigation, sapagkat ito bang ganitong dokumento ay amin ding ikukumpara pa. Subalit malaki po ang value ng mga itong bagay sa amin, sapagkat ito po ang nagbibigay rin sa amin ng direksyon at mga leads upang amin pong magampanan ang aming pong tungkulin na mag-imbestiga.
So for the second time and for the sake of clarity and then for the information and guidance of the senator judges, the document being identified by the witness is unsigned, is not notarized, not under oath, and it is only as to the fact that they used this document in their investigation or as part of their investigation, but not as to the truth of the allegations contained in that unsubscribed document that was not made under oath.
Also unsigned, Your Honor. Sorry.
Unsigned.
Also
May I make
unsigned
a
because there's a
manifestation, Your Honor?
signature but it appears to be a photocopy, so it doesn't qualify as a signature.
With the additional manifestation of the respondent, so noted, what is the manifestation of the counsel for the prosecutors?
Your Honor, based on the ICC, as relayed to us by our witness in the next article or in the last article that we will present, the ICC does not require notarization of document.
Noted, but we are not the ICC counsel. Again, we're just placing on the record and for the record the factual situation concerning the document that the witness is testifying to for the information and guidance of the senator judges. Counsel for the panel of prosecutors, may proceed.
Mr. Witness, for purposes of submarking, Can you read just a portion of paragraph 270? Just for the guidance of the impeachment court.
Again, Your Honor, same objection. The document will speak for itself. Best evidence of this statement is a document.
Your Honor, we wanted
As
to be
previously
guided.
ruled, the court will allow it. Again, given the limited consideration that the court will give this testimony of the witness and not as the truth of what he will read, witness may answer.
Paragraph 270, the years of 2012 to 2013 were the birth of Tokhang operations and the evil side of enforcement in Davao City by its author, the newly installed Davao City Police Office Director Colonel Ronald Bato de la Rosa. The operations were all cleared and approved by Mayors Inday Sara Zimmerman Duterte Carpio and Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Your Honor, we are requesting that the portion read by the witness be bracketed and marked as Exhibit P4-35.
So ordered.
Mr. Witness, what else is the pertinent portion of this affidavit that you are referring to?
As mentioned earlier po, paragraph 270B.
For the guidance of the impeachment court, kindly read for purposes of submarking only.
While eating, Colonel Bato de la Rosa told me in Visayan dialect, why you summoned me, and I quote, Tur, short of Arturo, my first name. Nakaistorya mi ni Mayor Inday, referring to Davao City Mayor Inday Sara C. Duterte Carpio, party sa atwang Tokhang operation. As part of our Tokhang operation, ang order ni Mayor Inday sa akon, nag-ilaylo sa nato ang pusil, killing through shooting. Sa atwang mga target persons, shabu users and pushers and other criminal elements in Davao City, kay samukan siya media, magsige o pagunta na, pud, kidnapa, abdak, na lang ninyo ang inyong target, unya, ilubong sa quarry, laod quarry. Para missing lang kay okay si Mayor Inday sa ana paagi. I talked to Mayor Inday as part of our Tokhang operation. She ordered us to lay low our killings through gun shooting because the media is asking too much. Just kidnap targets, then bury them in the quarry so they would go missing. She is okay with that way. To which I answer, yes sir, sultian na ko ako ang grupo. I'll inform my group. Colonel Bato de la Rosa instructed me, i-inform Tur kung naamoy maabdak na target nyo. Inform me Tur whenever you are kidnap a target.
Your Honor, we are requesting that that pertinent portion read by the witness be bracketed and marked as Exhibit P435A.
So marked,
Your
so
Honor,
ordered.
just
Counsel for respondent.
What?
we just want to register again our continuing objection, Your Honor. Again, we already allowed, Your Honor, that the witness at least identify this document, but as to the fact, Your Honor, that he is allowed to read even portions thereof. He's not the author of this affidavit. And as to the truth or falsity thereof, he is incompetent to testify on that. And it already violates, Your Honor, it already violates the rights of our clients because she's being prejudiced by the reading of this affidavit that cannot even be verified because the person is not here to testify. That's our objection, Your Honor.
Chair notes the objection and continuing objection of counsel for the respondents, and as an additional, for the third time perhaps, reminder of the presiding officer to my fellow senator judges. The mention of statements allegedly made by then General De La Rosa, now Senator De La Rosa, are clearly hearsay even on the part of Las Cañas himself. But as to the fact that probably he told him that, it may be established if the affidavit of Las Cañas and if Las Cañas is presented here. Again, this is only as to the fact that this is what the NBI used in their investigation and coming up with their findings, not as to the truth of the statements being read by Director Matibag, much less the statements of other parties who did not execute this document. The continuing objection is noted. Witness may answer. Counsel will proceed.
We are requesting, Your Honor, that that portion just read by the witness be bracketed and marked as P435A. Mr. Witness,
Let it be so, Mark.
ano pa, kung mayroon man, ang mahalagang bahagi ng affidavit ni Arturo Las Cañas na tinukoy mo kanina?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Noted. Witness may answer.
Sa paragraph D po, yung portion po nito ay ito po ay isa sa aming pinagtuunan ng pansin sa aming investigasyon.
Please read for the purpose of submarking only.
I later called up retired senior police Sonny Benaventura and relayed to him Colonel Ronald Bato de la Rosa's abduction operation ordered to me as allegedly ordered to him by Mayor Inday Sara Duterte Carpio. Sonny Benaventura answered me that would personally confirm and verify the matter with Mayor Inday Duterte. 2 days later, to my recollection, Sonny Benaventura called me and instructed me to meet him in Caltex gasoline station parking area in front of SM Mall Ecoland, Matina, Davao City, because Mayor Inday Sara Duterte will meet him in the said place. Sonny Benaventura wanted me to narrate personally to Mayor Inday Sara about the abduction order of Colonel Ronald Bato de la Rosa regarding his Tokhang operation. I agreed. I immediately proceeded to Sonny Benaventura's location. Upon my arrival on the board of my Strada pickup vehicle in Caltex gasoline station parking area, Sonny Benaventura motored me to the board pickup vehicle. However, before I could do so, Mayor Inday Sara Duterte Carpio arrived on board her SUV vehicle, a Fortuner-like vehicle, colored dark blue. Sonny Benaventura then disembarked immediately from his vehicle and rushed to the vehicle of Mayor Inday Sara Duterte that's stopped a few meters away from Sonny Benaventura's pickup vehicle. I stood in front of Sonny Benaventura's pickup vehicle looking and then talking. Mayor Inday Sara Duterte Carpio did not get up from the vehicle while talking to Sonny Benaventura, and Sonny was standing on the left side of Mayor Inday Sara Duterte vehicle. Then Sonny Benaventura hand signaled to me to come near him. I saw Mayor Inday Sara Z. Duterte Carpio inside her vehicle alone. I personally heard Mayor Inday Sara Zimmerman Duterte Carpio ordered Sonny Benaventura and I in Visayan dialect, and I quote, "Bulgar naman kayo man, pusilon, shoot." And target ninyo na referring to Sonny and myself nung short of manong older person. Kidnapa na lang ninyo. Target shabu users and pushers and other suspected criminal elements in Davao City. Para missing lang para dili samok ang media. Shooting your target is too brazen. Just kidnap them so they will just go missing and so that the media won't bother us. Sonny Benaventura replied, "Sige day, okay." Then she drove away. It was a 3 to 5 minute kill order through abduction operation from a lady mayor of our city, the daughter of Mayor President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, that shed much blood of innocent poor Filipino suspected of being shabu users and pushers in Davao City. Now nationwide through the Tokhang campaign of the Philippine National Police for 4-star General and newly elected Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa.
Your Honor.
Counsel for respondent.
Then, considering, Your Honor, the reading of this portion of this piece of paper, Your Honor, we ask for a fourth clarification on the part of the chair that the reading of this document, Your Honor, already creates an impression, not just to the minds of the senator judges, but also the public. They may be misled, Your Honor, to believing the truth or falsity of these statements. So in other words, Your Honor, this is highly improper with all due respect, Your Honor, for this honorable court to allow the reading of a portion of an affidavit that was not authored by this witness. He doesn't know, he doesn't have personal knowledge, again, and he's not competent to testify as to the truth or falsity of these statements. It is purely hearsay and excluded by the evidence and the rules of court, Your Honor.
The chair is inclined at this point to already agree with counsel for respondent. Chair will cut short any further identifications of the witness in regard to this affidavit. I think you have sufficiently established, counsel,
May I
the
comment, Your
so-called
Honor?
pattern of violence that you sought to establish in the investigation of the NBI regarding the so-called grave threats that they are investigating. But the chair will nevertheless remind again the senator judges, as requested by counsel for the respondents, that this is only as to the fact that Las Cañas executed a document that they used in their open source investigation, not as to the truth of what was read. It was only identified for easy identification by the senator judges, subject to that limited understanding. And I think, counsel, that should be enough for now insofar as establishing your desire, rather, to establish so-called pattern of violence. Kindly move on already to the other grounds for investigation.
Just one last manifestation.
Counsel for
Your Honor.
respondent is recognized.
Well, in that case, Your Honor, with all due respect again, then it is like we believe certain portions of the statements as read by this witness. Because we are already mentioning about a pattern. So in other words, Your Honor, we gave credence, Your Honor, or value to the statements that were read, which is highly improper, and we would like to object to that, Your Honor.
We
May I
did not
respond,
give
Your
credence to it, counsel. We merely allowed the witness to testify as to the evidence he used and or considered in his investigation, which actually has not yet borne fruit unless he will testify to the contrary later on. As I believe the investigation as of this moment is still ongoing. But let it end at that. Counsel, please move on to
we will
another
submit,
point.
Your Honor, but register or continuing
The
objection.
continuing objection of counsel for respondent is duly noted and entered into the records. Counsel, lead counsel for the prosecutors, kindly move on to
Yes, Your Honor.
I presume you will go through the 5
Yes, Your
pillars
Honor.
of investigation of the NBI.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kindly
Because-
proceed to the next point, the gravity or seriousness aspect.
May I just request, Your Honor, that the last portion read by the witness be submarked as P435B. Thank
So
you, Your Honor.
ordered. So
Continuing
ordered.
objection, Your Honor.
Continuing
Maraming
objection of
salamat
the
sa iyong
counsel is noted.
paglilinaw kaugnay ng pattern of violence. Ngayon, puntahan natin ang gravity at seriousness ng banta. Mr. Witness, ano ang inyong sinuri kung mayroon man kaugnay ng gravity at seriousness ng banta?
Unang-una na po rito kung sino yung pinagbantaan, sino yung sinabing papatayin. At dito po natin makikita na 2 pinuno ng 2 sangay ng ating gobyerno, ang dating speaker at ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas ang pinagbantaan, kasama na rin po ang unang ginan. Kaya para sa amin po ay mabigat at seryoso po ang pagbabantang ito.
Bukod sa nabanggit mo na pinuno ng 2 malalaking sangay ng gobyerno ang pinagbantaan, ano pa ang inyong sinuri kung mayroon man?
Mismong ang Vice Presidente na po ang nagsabi na paulit-ulit na no joke. At pati pag tiningnan po natin yung kanya pong press conference noong November 23, 2024, makikita natin sa kanya na seryoso ang kanyang pagsasabi nito.
Bukod dito sa binanggit mo na sinabi ng Vice Presidente, no joke. Ano pa kung mayroon man ang sinuri mo kaugnay ng gravity at seriousness ng banta?
Tiningnan po natin yung mga kanina katulad ng video noong October 18 at yung pong kanyang video noong November 23 at nasundan pa po ito noong November 26 na sinasabi niya at kinukumpirma na seryoso ang kanyang pagbabanta at siya ay meron ng kinausap at pumayag para patayin ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
Bukod sa nabanggit mong 3 video, ano pa kung mayroon man ang iyong sinuri kaugnay pa rin ng gravity at seriousness ng banta?
Para sa akin po, hindi na ito talaga banta, kundi isa na pong confession ng kanyang plano na pagpatay po sa ating Pangulo. Sapagkat makikita naman natin na sinabi niya na meron akong kinausap at pumayag ang kinausap para patayin ang Presidente.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness already is providing conclusions of law, Your Honor. May we ask that it be stricken off the record?
Your Honor, may I respond to that?
Counsel for the prosecutor may respond. Rather, the lead prosecutor may respond.
Your Honor, the witness is testifying as to what transpired during the investigation of Special Task Force. He is testifying on the observation, appreciation, and findings of the Special Task Force. And this is the very purpose of presenting the testimony of NBI Director Melvin Matibag.
Short rejoinder, Your Honor.
Counsel may give a rejoinder.
Part of the witness's response is the use of the term confession, which is a legal term. The witness is a lawyer. He knows exactly what he's doing, Your Honor.
Nevertheless, Your Honor, that is the testimony of the witness, and that should be considered by the impeachment court.
The presiding officer shall rule, let it stay in the record as part of the narration of the witness, but not as to for the senator judges not to consider it as a conclusion of law, notwithstanding that the witness is the director of the NBI and there is a lawyer and a former dean. That is still not to be used by any of the senator judges as a conclusion of law as to the fact in issue in this impeachment court. Witness may answer.
Bukod sa
Rather, counsel may
binanggit
proceed.
mong confession, ano pa kung mayroon man ang iyong sinuri, kaugnay pa rin ng gravity at seriousness ng banta?
May tuturing po natin ito na mabigat at seryoso sapagkat alam niyo po ang NBI, meron po kaming mga foreign counterparts na sa investigation din na patuloy namin pong nakakausap at nakakaugnayan. At kasama po ron aming pinag-uusapan ng mga pangyayari sa kanilang lugar, sa ating lugar. At napapag-aralan po kung paano kami magkakaroon po ng collaboration at pagtutulungan. At kung saan po sa amin pong pakikipag-usap rito ay atin pong namin napag-usapan ang tungkol po sa ginawang pagbabanta ng Pangulo, ng pangalawang Pangulo sa ating Pangulo. At lumalabas po sa aming mga usapan na sinasabi na ito ay seryoso na pagbabanta. At sinabi pa nga na kung sa kanilang jurisdiction ito nangyari, maaaring hanggang ngayon, nakakulong ang nagbanta na Vice Presidente o maaaring natanggal na sa pwesto ang Vice Presidente na nagbanta sa Pangulo.
Maraming salamat sa iyong paglilinaw kaugnay ng gravity at seriousness. Puntahan natin yung pangatlong batayan, identity. Mr. Witness, ano ang inyong sinuri kung mayroon man kaugnay ng identity ng pinagmumula ng banta?
Ito naman po ay malinaw na na-establish na ng identity at hindi naman po ito itinanggi. Paulit-ulit naman na inamin na ang nagbanta, ang kumausap ng papatay ay ang ating pong Vice Presidente na si Vice President Sara Duterte.
Bukod sa Vice Presidente Sara Duterte na tinukoy mong pagkakakilanlan ng nagbanta, ano pa o sino pa kung mayroon man, Mr. Witness, ang inyong sinuri dito sa pag-aaral ng identity o pagkakakilanlan?
Sinama na rin po namin dito ang tuloy-tuloy na mga banta, kahit na po ng mga ordinaryong individual, at kasama na rin po rito ang patuloy na banta po na nabanggit po ng ating pong Mayor Baste Duterte po.
Puntahan naman natin ang pang-apat ninyong batayan, capacity. Ano ang inyong mga sinuri kaugnay ng capacity to execute threat?
Unang-una po daming tiningnan sa capacity o kapasidad ng nagturan ng pagbabanta o pakikipag-usap nga sa pagpatay. Alam naman po natin ang Vice Presidente may malawak na network. Alam po natin na matagal ding nangungulang Pangulo ang kanyang ama po. At sila po, regionally, ay sila rin kinikilala dyan po sa Davao. Ibig sabihin po, marami po silang network na maaari ding ibilang natin dito yung mga men in uniforms sa Philippine military po natin, sa kapulisan. Ito po ay ating ipinactor in na kasama po doon sa kapasidad na kayang gawin po ang kanyang sinabing pagpapapatay.
Binanggit mo ang network ng dating Pangulo, ganun din na ang ama ay dating Pangulo. Binanggit mo ang network ng Vice Presidente. Ano pa ang inyong sinuri kung mayroon man kaugnay pa rin ang capacity ng pinagmumula ng banta?
Alam po natin, at kanina nabanggit ko na yung pagiging kasama sa pagtatatag ng Davao Death Squad. At alam naman natin kung ano ang kakayahan ng Death Squad na pumatay ng mga tao through AJK. Ibig sabihin po, pag ating itong ibinilang, kasama po ito sa kapasidad ng ating Vice Presidente na maisagawa po ang kanyang plano.
At bukod sa inyong pagsusuri dito sa Davao Death Squad, ano pa kung mayroon man ang inyong sinuri kaugnay pa rin ng capacity ng nagbanta?
It is also public record. Nakikita naman natin po sa mga balita ng mga Duterte, maraming pag-aari ng mga baril. At alam din naman po natin na they are well connected financially para matustusan o may sagawa ang kanya pong plano na pagpatay po sa Pangulong Duterte.
Bukod
Pangulo
sa
ng
binanggit
Pilipinas.
mong pag-aaring baril at financial connections, Mr. Witness, ano pa, kung mayroon pa, ang iyong sinuri, kaugnay pa rin ng capacity ng nagbanta?
Karugtong po rito yung Vice Presidential Security Group, yung BPSG na tinatawag natin, na alam natin na sa ngayon ay napakarami pong membro na isang tawag lang ng ating Vice Presidente ay nandiyan dyan para tubugon po sa kanya pong mga instructions.
Mr. Witness, puntahan natin ang panglima ninyong batayan. Motive or intention. Ano ang inyong mga sinuri kung mayroon man, kaugnay ng motive at intention ng nagbanta?
Unang-una po, at nasasad naman ito sa ating pong batas, sa ating konstitusyon, na kung ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas ay mawawala, mamamatay, ang susunod po na uupo by succession ay ang Vice Presidente. So pumapasok po ito sa motibo at sa intensyon.
Bukod sa ang Vice Presidente, ang papalit kung mawawala ang Presidente, ano pa ang inyong sinuri kung mayroon man, kaugnay pa rin ang motive at intention ng nagbanta?
Dito na po namin sinundan yung tinatawag namin na sunod-sunod at magkakaugnay na pattern na nangyayari. At kaya po namin paulit-ulit na sinasabi na ang banta sa Pangulo ay banta sa ating national security sabagat nakikita po natin na it's creating chaos, yung kakaroon po ng kaguluhan, sunod-sunod po na pagtuligsa sa gobyerno. At yung mga ordinaryong mamamayan na nga po, makikita natin patuloy pong nagbabanta sa Pangulo. Katunayan, marami po kaming monitoring sa social media ng mga banta namin pong sinusundan sa seguridad po ng ating Pangulo.
Maraming salamat sa iyong paglilinaw sa 5 batayan na inyong ginamit kaugnay ng investigasyon ng Special Task Force. Kanina'y binanggit mo na maging ang ordinaryong mga tao ay nagbabanta na rin sa buhay ng Presidente.
Objection, Your Honor. May we know the question?
Allow
Your Honor,
the
I'm just
counsel to finish. She's not
I'm
yet
laying
finished.
the basis. Binanggit mo na maging ang ordinaryong tao ay nagbabanta na rin sa buhay ng Pangulo. Ano pa ang naging obserbasyon mo na may kinalaman sa naging banta ng Pangulo, ng Vice Presidente sa buhay ng Pangulo?
Objection on the use of the word banta, Your Honor.
Witness already used that word. Counsel is simply referring to the words used by the witness himself already at this time. Witness may answer.
Napansin ko nga po na tumaas ang antas ng kaguluhan sa pamamagitan po. Doon lamang po sa social media, kita-kita natin, meron po mga panahon na nating pong Pangulo ay nasa isang event na live, meron pong mga magko-comment na barilin na yan, meron pong mga video na nakuha ng ating CCD na mayroong nagkakasa ng baril at ang reference din po ay isang bala lang to sa ulo ng presidente. So yan po yung kapansin-pansin na nagdudulot sa atin ng panganib sa ating Pangulo at sa ating pong pambansang seguridad.
Pagkatapos ng mga nabanggit mong obserbasyon sa inyong investigasyon, ano ang inyong ginawa sa Special Task Force, kaugnay pa rin ang inyong investigasyon sa banta ng Vice Presidente sa buhay ng Pangulo?
Malinaw po ang mandato ng Special Task Force at ang mandato po nito ay patuloy na bantayan ang seguridad po ng ating Pangulo. At hindi lamang po para bantayan ang seguridad ng Pangulo, kundi hanapin at ma-identify kung sino ang kinausap ng Vice Presidente para po patayin ang ating Pangulo.
Binanggit mo na bahagi ng inyong ginawa ay hanapin ang taong kinausap ng Pangulo. Ano ang inyong napag-alaman, kung mayroon man, kaugnay ng tao na kinausap ng Vice Presidente upang patayin ang Pangulo, ang First Lady at ang former Speaker?
Sa ngayon po, ang aming pong investigasyon at ang task force is a continuing and active investigation of the threat to the President. Meron po tayong mga leads natin pong sinusundan at katunayan, we already have established persons of interest na maaaring makapagturo o tumukoy doon sa taong kinausap ng ating Vice Presidente o maaaring isa rito sa tinatawag nating persons of interest ang siyang talagang nakausap ng Vice Presidente.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo yung persons of interest. Upang mas maunawaan tayo, ng mga kababayang nanonood. Ano ang ibig sabihin mo ng persons of interest?
Ang ibig sabihin po nito, itong mga taong ito ay maaaring magbigay linaw o makapagturo sa identity ng taong kinausap o sa pangyayari ng pag-uusap, o yun nga po, maaaring sila mismo ang nandoon or sila mismo ang kinausap. Kaya po ito tinatawag na persons of interest. Hindi po nangangahulugan na sila na mismo ang kinausap, gaya ng aking pong sinabi.
Kaugnay pa rin ang binanggit mo na mayroon ng persons of interest. Mr. Witness, ano ang pagkakakilanlan ng mga persons of interest na tinukoy mo?
Respectfully, Mr. Presiding Officer, kinalulungkot ko po pero sa aking pong katatayuan bilang NBI Director, hindi ko po maaaring isiwalat ang pagkakakilanlan o pagkatao ng ating mga persons of interest na ito sapagkat gaya ng aking sinabi, this is a continuing and an open investigation po sa nangyari po na pagkontrata sa pagpatay sa ating Pangulo.
Mr. Witness, matagal nang iniintay ng sambayanan kung sino ang taong kinausap ng Vice Presidente. As a matter of fact, maging ang ating iginagalang na mga senator judges ay nagtatanong din kaugnay ng pagkakakilanlan ng taong kinausap ng Presidente. Ano ang dahilan, kung mayroon man, bakit mo sinasabi, Vice President? Bakit mo sinasabi na hindi ito pwedeng i-disclose o isa-publiko itong mga persons of interest na tinukoy mo?
Alam po ninyo, maraming kadahilanan. Tayo po ay nasa law enforcement. Kapag ang ganito pong bagay na it's an open and continuing investigation ay ating isisiwalat, unang-una pong mangyayari rito ay makukompromiso po ang ating investigasyon. At may lalagay po sa alanganin yung pong ating mga tinatawag na informants o assets na nasa ground na nagbibigay po sa atin ng human intel na tinatawag. At kasama na rin po rito na yung pong aming capability to have successful operation ay makompromiso sapagkat maaaring hindi na po kami pagtiwalaan ng aming pong mga pinanggagalingan na source. Pangatlo po, it will violate the right of privacy po ng mga individual na ating natukoy na persons of interest. At meron din po itong kaparusahan under the Administrative Code na kung ang isa pong information ay confidential, secret, or top secret, hindi po ito pwedeng ibahagi basta-basta sa publiko. Ito po ay exception din sa Freedom of Information under po sa Memorandum Order number 15 po ng ating pong Pangulo.
Mr. Witness, binanggit mo ang maraming dahilan kung bakit hindi mo pwedeng i-disclose itong pagkakakilanlan ng mga persons of interest. Baguhin ko yung tanong, anong pagkakataon kung meron man na maaari mong ibahagi sa impeachment court na ito ang mga persons of interest na tinutukoy mo?
Alam po ninyo, kahit dumating yung punto na matukoy na natin kung sino ang kinausap, we have the right to protect yung pong aming mga informants. Sapagkat ang pinoproteksyonan din po namin dito ay ang institusyon ng NBI. Subalit ito po ay patuloy na pagsusuri at report na tuloy na ginagawa po ng National Bureau of Investigation. Katunayan po, nandirito po sa akin yung mga report ng task force tag as confidential. Kaya pagpamanin po ninyo na talagang hindi ko po ito pwedeng ibahagi na pagpapubliko.
Ano
Your Honor,
yung
please.
mga...
Counsel for respondent is recognized.
Your Honor, considering already the length of time, can we just ask for a 5-minute recess, Your Honor?
Actually, I'm about to
I'm
do so as soon as the counsel for the lead counsel winds
Your Honor,
up.
I'm about to conclude.
As soon as the direct examination is concluded, the chair will declare a recess before we proceed with your cross. Would that be okay, counsel?
Okay, Your Honor.
Counsel may proceed. Witness may answer.
Mr. Witness, ano yung mga papel na ipinapakita mo kanina?
Ito po yung patuloy na pag-uulat, mga minutes ng meeting at mga intel report po na nasagap, kaugnay po sa ating isyong pinag-uusapan.
Kaugnay ng mga persons of interest na hindi mo pwedeng isiwalat, iyan ba ay bahagi ng mga papel na iyong ipinapakita?
Kasama na po ito.
Mr. Witness, I'm about to conclude. Ano ang nalabag ng Vice Presidente kung mayroon man
Objection, Your Honor.
kaugnay ng banta niya sa buhay ng Presidente. Your
Objection.
Honor, this is still part of the investigation.
I will have to sustain the objection. It would call for a conclusion of law, and as admitted by the witness himself, the investigation is ongoing unless he has concluded it already. Kindly rephrase, counsel.
I have no further question, Your Honor.
If there are no further questions, given that it is 4:03 and given that it's been 2 hours already, as agreed, Chair will declare a 15-minute recess. We shall resume at 4:18 for the cross-examination of the counsel for respondent. We are in recess. Witness is excused for the meantime and may exit the witness box.